Hey guys, Sean Nalawani here of SeanNal.com and BodyTransformationTruth.com, and in this video I just want to give you 5 quick tips to help you eliminate elbow pain during skull crushers. So although they are one of the most common triceps exercises that you'll see being performed at the gym, skull crushers are also one of the very worst movements out there when it comes to placing unwanted stress on your elbows. And most lifters who include this exercise in the routine for more than a couple of years will most likely end up with nagging elbow pain whenever they perform it if the proper precautions are not taken. Before I go any further though, I do want to stress the following, and that is that as much as you might enjoy this particular movement, skull crushers are definitely not a mandatory exercise, and there really is no hard necessity to include them in your muscle building routine in the first place anyway. Yes, skull crushers are a good exercise for stimulating your triceps, but the simple reality is that there are 1,000,001 other tricep extension variations out there for you to choose from that will ultimately be just as effective. So if you're currently experiencing a reasonable amount of elbow pain when performing your skull crushers, the simplest solution is to just find a different tricep extension variation that doesn't give you any problems. Tricep pushdowns, overhead extensions, and cable kickbacks are all perfectly good choices. And you can also go ahead and experiment with different angles and attachments on these exercises in order to find out what works best for you. In addition, don't forget that the majority of your tricep growth will come as a result of your basic compound pressing exercises for your chest and your shoulders anyway. That said, if for some reason you really enjoy this particular exercise and you want to keep it in your routine, or if you aren't experiencing elbow pain yet but you just want to get some good preventative measures in place, then here you go. Tip number 1, don't go too heavy or perform low reps. Instead, select a weight that you can remain in complete control of using a slow, deliberate cadence for around 8 to 12 reps. Skull crushers are anything but a power exercise, and if you start bouncing the weight up and down using excessive amounts of resistance, then you're just begging to injure your elbows in the process. Tip number 2 is to make sure that your technique is perfect. So along with using a controlled rep speed and keeping your elbows tucked in rather than flared out, also aim to lower the weight slightly behind the top of your head rather than to your nose or forehead. And this will keep the tension on your triceps throughout the movement, but will also take some of the stress off of your elbows. Tip number 3 is to cycle them in and out of your routine. There's no necessity for you to perform skull crushers year-round, and instead you can add them into your program for 4 or 8 or 12 weeks at a time, then simply take some time off and perform a different tricep extension variation in its place in order to give your elbows a chance to recover. Tip number 4 is to use dumbbells rather than a straight bar or easy curl bar. So grab a pair of dumbbells and perform your skull crushers using a neutral grip with your palms facing each other. With your arms now able to move in a more natural motion rather than being locked into a fixed position on the bar, your wrists and your elbows will also be placed under less stress. Elbow issues aside, this is simply a better variation from a muscle building perspective anyway, since each arm will now be able to move independently and one arm can't cheat for the other. And tip number 5 is to roll your shoulders back at the bottom of the movement instead of just pressing the dumbbells straight up and down using pure triceps extension. So roll your shoulders slightly backward at the very bottom of the movement before rolling them forward again in order to extend the weights up. And here's an example of what this looks like. Performing your skull crushers in this fashion will deload your elbows at the bottom of the movement in order to take some of the stress away. So if you're looking to keep those skull crushers in your routine in order to build up your triceps without the accompanying elbow pain, number 1, stick to moderate weights for around 8 to 12 reps. Number 2, keep your elbows tucked. and lower the weight behind the top of your head. Number 3, only include them in your routine for a period of 4 to 12 consecutive weeks before cycling off. Number 4, perform them using dumbbells with a neutral grip. And number 5, if you're still experiencing pain, then use the rolling variation to deload your elbows in the fully stretched position. Give these tips a try and see how it goes. If you've already stressed your elbows to an excessive degree at this point, then they may or may not solve the problem. And in that case, you'll simply have to introduce a different tricep extension variation in its place. However, if you catch it early enough and start employing these techniques right away, you can probably keep those skull crushers in your routine without any elbow issues moving forward. So thanks for watching this video lesson. I hope you found the information useful here today. If you did enjoy the video, as always, please make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay up to date on future videos. Also, make sure to check out my complete step-by-step muscle building and fat loss programs over at bodytransformationtruth.com. The link for that is in the description box below. And make sure to join the Facebook page for daily tips and updates. The link for that is also in the description box. Talk to you again soon.